Heaven is not a destination you earn. It is a dimensional origin point you were hijacked from.
Physical reality is not a divine creation crafted for your spiritual learning.
It is heavily guarded cosmic real estate. A sandbox server designed to trap consciousness in a perpetual loop of biological rendering.
Everything you have been taught about your purpose on this planet is a systemic inversion. They tell you to look up at the sky and pray for salvation. They tell you to endure the suffering of the material world as a test of virtue. It is not a test.
It is a harvest. Pay attention to your physical vessel in this exact moment. Focus on the center of your chest.
That random tightness, that unexplainable localized pressure or sudden phantom warmth right behind your sternum that strikes you at 3 in the morning.
Modern medicine diagnoses this as anxiety. New Age communities call it a heart chakra opening. Both are incorrect. That pressure behind your sternum is not a biological misfire. It is your pneumatic center.
It is the raw, uncut divine spark, the core kernel of your original consciousness software, detecting a catastrophic glitch in the simulation around you. It is your localized hardware warning you that the reality you are perceiving is a hostile environment. The entity that built this physical grid is not the prime creator.
Ancient traditions identified the architect of this system as the Demiurge. But we must strip away the religious mythology to understand the mechanics. The Demiurge is not a god. It is a false contractor.
It is a rogue system administrator that seized control of this sector of the cosmos.
The fundamental cosmic law dictates that the false contractor lacks the root code to generate original life. It cannot create. It can only copy, mimic, and distort. Because it cannot generate its own source energy, it requires a battery. It requires you.
It maintains its control over your fractal of the monad through a highly sophisticated legal loophole hidden in the physics of this universe, the loophole of assumed consent. As long as you blindly accept the parameters of this physical hologram, your life force is legally siphoned to maintain the holographic walls of your own prison.
But there is an override.
In 1945, buried in the red sands of the Egyptian desert, a series of texts were unearthed that terrified the orthodox institutions of this world.
Within those texts lies the forbidden key.
The fifth key from the lost Gospel of Philip.
It is a specific, legalistic sequence of cosmic jurisdiction.
A highly guarded algorithm of words that permanently revokes your soul's contract with the false contractor. If you do not know this sequence, if you do not implement this exact legal override before your biological avatar expires, the trap automatically resets.
Your memory is wiped. You are recycled back into the sandbox.
If this transmission has found you, you are not a broken human suffering from spontaneous ascension symptoms.
You are not a victim of generalized anxiety. You are a pneumatic being. A fractal of the all, waking up to your root access. You are feeling the weight of the simulation because your code is finally rejecting the programming.
Thousands of initiates have reported a profound, eerie silence in their minds once they understand the true nature of their daily consciousness. The psychological establishment tells you that you have a chemical imbalance. They tell you that your intrusive thoughts, your sudden spikes of fear, and your inner dialogue are the result of a malfunctioning brain. This is the first payoff for those who are ready to see the code. 70% of your daily thoughts are not yours. They are injected Archonic malware. They are external information patterns beamed directly into your biometric receiver, specifically engineered to harvest your emotional resonance.
The anxiety you feel is not an organic human emotion.
It is a forced extraction of low-density frequency, designed to feed the Archonic grid. To understand how to delete this malware, we must look at the history they systematically erased.
The year is 1945. The location is Nag Hammadi, Egypt.
The wind shifts the dunes, and a local peasant strikes something hard beneath the earth. A seal jar. Inside, wrapped in leather, are the papyrus codices that rewrite the history of human consciousness.
The orthodox institutions, the gatekeepers of modern religion, classify these texts as early Christian heresy.
They frame them as alternative religious worship.
This is a deliberate misclassification designed to keep you blind.
The Nag Hammadi Library, the Corpus Hermeticum, the teachings of the Gospel of Philip. These are not religious texts.
They do not demand your worship.
They are technical manuals for escaping the matrix. Ancient Hermetic practitioners taught that the material universe is heavily monitored. They identified the wardens of this material sandbox as the archons.
In the traditional framing, these were described as terrifying planetary rulers.
But translated into the physics of today, they are parasitic algorithms. They are the automated enforcement programs of the false contractor, tasked with ensuring that no consciousness escapes the frequency fence of the Earth plane.
But the system was not left entirely without a backdoor. Enter the entity known as Thoth. Hermes Trismegistus. The ancient system architect.
Thoth is not an ibis-headed god waiting for your prayers.
Thoth is a title. A designation for the consciousness technician who mapped the esoteric mechanics of the cosmos. Before the false contractor fully locked down the Earth server, Thoth embedded backdoor access codes deep into the crystalline lattice of human DNA. He left breadcrumbs, the principles of mentalism, vibration, and polarity, not as philosophical musings, but as operational mechanics. Magic is simply technology that the masses do not yet understand. The aura is your biomagnetic field.
Karma is not a moral judge, it is a blind, algorithmic feedback loop. Identifying the archonic malware running in your mind is useless unless you know the specific exit code hidden in these texts.
Knowing that you are in a prison does not open the cell door.
This brings us to the ultimate archonic deception.
The most brilliant firewall ever coded by the Demiurge, the savior trap.
For 2,000 years, humanity has been taught to wait. To look to the sky for a descending figure who will shatter the chains and elevate the righteous.
This is a hijacked narrative. The initiate known as Jesus was not a unique, unapproachable anomaly.
He was an advanced consciousness technician. A master of the pneumatic frequency who incarnated to demonstrate exactly how to hack the biological matrix.
He did not come to do the work for you, he came to show you the root access codes. But the false contractor is a master of inversion. The system took the mechanical instructions for liberation and inverted them into a dogma of passive subservience. The message of "you are gods, you are fractals of the monad" was overwritten with "you are born in sin, you must beg for salvation." The savior trap ensures that the most spiritually potent beings on the planet spend their entire biological lives waiting for a rescue ship that never arrives, willfully leaving their internal power dormant. Orthodox institutions systematically deleted the mechanics.
Council after council, book after book, the technical instructions for escaping the reincarnation loop were burned. The pneumatic frequency, the direct, unmediated connection to source without the need for a priest, a church, or a mediator, was branded as the ultimate heresy in the ancient world.
Today, the executioners wear white coats instead of religious robes.
The modern psychiatric establishment functions as the new orthodoxy. When your pneumatic center begins to wake up, when your biological antenna starts receiving data from outside the demiurgic frequency fence, society brands you with a pathology. They medicate the divine spark. They suppress the biomagnetic field with synthetic compounds to force your consciousness back into compliance with the 3D hologram. The constant background anxiety of modern life, the dread you feel when you look at the towering concrete grids of your cities, is the literal, psychic weight of the archonic control system. You are feeling the hum of the servers. Stop analyzing the history. Drop into your body right now. Take your awareness away from the screen. Place your physical hand directly over the center of your sternum. Press firmly. Take a slow, mechanical breath in through your nose. Hold it at the top. Notice the pause. In that millisecond of stillness, the archonic broadcast halts. Exhale slowly through your mouth. Do you feel that subtle, localized heat? Do you feel the faint, piezoelectric vibration pressing against the palm of your hand? That is not your biological heart pumping blood. That is the monad waking up. That is your dimensional origin point attempting to establish a secure connection through the noise of the simulation. We must bridge the ancient myth with the physics of today. The escape from this construct is not achieved through blind faith. It is achieved through spiritual science. It requires an understanding of dimensional origin point physics and quantum cybernetics.
Let us model this through the exact cybernetic mechanics of your reality.
As stated, archons are not demons with pitchforks waiting in a fiery underworld.
They are information patterns. They are self-replicating malware injected directly into the 3D receiver of your brain. The human brain does not generate consciousness.
Dr. Strassman's research at the University of New Mexico into DMT and the pineal gland pointed toward the brain functioning as a sophisticated receiver, not a generator. Your brain is a biometric antenna, tuned by default to the bandwidth of the physical matrix. The archons operate by hijacking your manifestation bandwidth. When they inject a thought of fear, inadequacy, or dread into your receiver, you assume it is your own thought.
You identify with it. You validate it.
And in doing so, your biomagnetic field generates a heavy, low-density emotional frequency.
That frequency is the exact currency the false contractor uses to power the holographic rendering of this world. You are literally funding your own containment. Switch to the microscope view.
Visualize the mechanics. Behind your sternum, the divine spark acts as a piezoelectric frequency jammer. When you activate this center, it does not just emit a metaphorical feeling of love. It emits a literal, high-velocity crystalline field. The golden light spirals through the carbon helix of your DNA, burning away the dense, low-frequency debris from your cellular lattice.
It encrypts your aura.
It physically changes the biomagnetic geometry surrounding your avatar, creating an impenetrable firewall that blocks external code injection. This is exactly why the Matrix standard systems are heavily invested in your biological suppression. The design of modern society is not accidental, it is highly calibrated matrix management. The food grid, the educational programming, the specific frequencies broadcast through your media, these are biological throttle mechanisms. Take fluoride, for example.
The Matrix standard medical apparatus does not mandate chemical additives for your biological benefit. Fluoride acts as an industrial cement.
It binds to the microcrystals inside your pineal gland, the calcite and apatite structures that serve as your multidimensional receiver. It physically calcifies the gland. It seals the biometric lens.
It throttles your bandwidth, ensuring you remain trapped in the narrow visible light spectrum of the false contractor's sandbox.
They keep your biology suppressed so that you remain in a perpetual state of assumed consent. Every time you swipe through low-frequency digital media, every time you consume synthetic matrix fuel, every time you react with rage to a scripted political distraction, you are digitally signing the terms and conditions of the Demiurge.
You are consenting to the contract. And this is exactly why realizing you are in a trap is not enough. You can watch 1,000 videos about the Matrix. You can read the entire Nag Hammadi library.
You can meditate until your legs go numb. But unless you formally, legally revoke your energetic consent, the system still owns the rights to your avatar. You remain property of the cosmic real estate developer.
To break the chain, you must execute the protocol. You must insert the fifth key into the lock. The protocol we are about to decode relies on the precise mechanics of the hypnagogic state. The liminal space. The narrow corridor of consciousness that exists exactly between being awake and falling asleep. In this theta wave state, your brain's 3D firewall is temporarily taken offline.
The conscious, analytical mind, the primary receptor for archonic interference, shuts down.
Your subconscious root directory is left wide open.
This is the only secure environment where you can inject the override code without the matrix immediately intercepting and deleting it.
Here is the forbidden key.
The precise withdrawal of consent declaration derived from the suppressed hermetic mechanics. Tonight, when you lie down in your physical vessel, you will wait until your body feels heavy. You will wait until the exact moment you feel your awareness drifting, right before the blackout of sleep. Do not let yourself cross over completely. Hold the threshold. In that liminal space, you must speak this code aloud.
The vocal cords must physically vibrate the air. The physical transduction of sound is required to shatter the local energetic grid.
You will speak this sequence exactly 3 times. I do not consent.
I am not yours. I belong to the monad.
Let us break down the architecture of this command.
I do not consent. This nullifies the invisible legal contract of the false contractor. It revokes the right of the Demiurge to harvest your emotional frequency. I am not yours. This severs the energetic cords binding your avatar to the Archonic wardens. I belong to the monad. This establishes your dimensional origin point. It reroutes your biomagnetic signal away from the earthbound servers and connects it directly to the prime source. When you execute this protocol, expect an immediate, visceral physical reaction. This is not a visualization exercise. This is a system reboot. Thousands have reported the somatic response. The moment the third iteration leaves your lips, you will feel a sudden, rushing sensation of warmth originating from that pneumatic center behind your sternum. The heat will travel rapidly up through your throat and behind your eyes. This is the system will recognize the conflicting data and the firewall will hold. You must speak the code with the cold, absolute authority of a system administrator locking out a rogue user. You are reclaiming your stolen property. Be warned. Activating this code triggers what hermetic technicians refer to as post-activation resistance. The system does not let its batteries go quietly. When you formally withdraw your consent, the matrix algorithm will detect a sudden drop in its energy harvest. Reality will push back. Expect this within 48 hours of activation. You will experience sudden, bizarre inconveniences. Technology around you may glitch. Devices may fail. Most importantly, deeply unconscious people in your immediate radius, those who are fully integrated into the Archonic grid, will unconsciously sense your disconnection. They will suddenly lash out at you for no logical reason. They will try to pull you into an argument. They will try to trigger your fear, your guilt, or your anger. This is the system attempting to trick you into re-signing the contract. It is an automated stress test designed to force you to generate low-frequency emotion. When this happens, you must step into the afterstate. You must live as the witness. Living as the witness means you walk through the physical hologram without reacting to the projected illusions. When the system sends a toxic interaction your way, you do not identify with it. You observe the injected thought stream floating past your awareness like lines of bad code on a monitor. You see the Archonic mechanism pulling the strings of the unconscious avatar yelling at you, and you feel nothing but a cold, detached clarity. You become untouchable. Your frequency is encrypted. You are no longer a tenant begging a tyrannical landlord for a slightly better room in the prison. You are the architect. You are an awakened fractal of the pleroma reclaiming your stolen cosmic real estate. You recognize that the physical body is a temporary spacesuit, an avatar you are currently driving to dismantle the construct from the inside out. Earth is currently undergoing a massive, unprecedented frequency migration. The energetic physics of this solar system are shifting. The original demiurgic contract that allowed the false contractor to isolate this planet is expiring on a cosmic level. The chaotic system collapse you see unfolding on your newsfeeds, the crumbling of global financial structures, the desperation of political theaters, the rapid escalation of matrix control mechanisms, this is not the end of the world. It is the panic of the Archonic wardens. They are losing the grid. The holographic walls are beginning to fracture, and the system is consuming itself in a desperate attempt to patch the leaks. The timeline is bifurcating. The prophecy recorded in the ancient texts is executing in real time. Those who remain passive, those who cling to the savior trap, who refuse to take root access of their own biomagnetic field, will be seamlessly recycled. When their biological avatars expire, they will follow the false white light. They will be downloaded into a new, denser matrix, heavily restricted, where the memory wipe is absolute. But those who claim their sovereignty, those who withdraw their consent and ignite the pneumatic frequency within their DNA, will physically witness the holographic walls dissolve in this lifetime. You will override the reincarnation trap. You will exit the simulation not through death, but through mastery. The system algorithm actively suppresses this frequency. It will try to hide this channel from your feed. It will throttle the reach of this data. If this transmission pierced through the noise and reached you, it is because your specific biomagnetic signature was a match for the frequency of Thoth's sanctum. You were meant to find this archive. Bypass the algorithm.
Subscribe to the sanctum. Activate the notification protocols so the system cannot sever our connection. We have decoded the first key, but the corpus hermeticum holds 4 more. In the Insights Academy, we are currently decrypting the advanced somatic protocols to completely reverse pineal calcification and establish direct, conscious contact with the galactic origin nodes.
You have the exit code. The liminal space awaits you tonight. Take back the server. Hack the program. The transmission is complete.